figures to account, like Sheun Okunbaloy. Catch Mike on Podcast Live this Saturday at 7 p.m. on YouTube.
This meeting in Kaduna also renewed calls for state police
perfectly safe during his visit to Owerri, dismissing security concerns and praising Governor Hope Uzodinma's efforts. Senator Shehu Sani says ex-British PM Boris Johnson is thanking Nigerians for sending future PM Kemi Badenoch. He's also praising the country for its brilliant doctors, nurses and tech experts. An appreciation to Johnson for these kind words. That is life. When somebody says bad about you, another will say good about you. FS Yusuf says, we don't know why former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson chose to visit Nigeria at this very sensitive moment. But all we keep hearing from his trip is his claim that he felt safe in Nigeria. That alone leaves us no choice but to conclude that the visit was carefully arranged to counter the factual narrative of the ongoing Christian genocide. It's disgusting, though sadly not surprising. Vivian says, Boris Johnson said the UK exports huge quantities of whiskey to Nigeria in exchange for crude oil. So apparently the UK thinks Nigerians are drunkards. Minister of Defense is trending as reactions trail President Tinubu's appointment and swearing in of General Christopher Musa, who has promised quick results in tracking Nigeria's worsening insecurity. Babangida Hussaini says Nigeria as a whole fell in love with Christopher Musa and has already appointed as their next Minister of Defense. No tribal or regional or religious biases, north to south. Muslims and Christians, everybody love him. This means Nigerians are still united. Our problem is leadership. A.S. Liman says, our hope is that Christopher Musa becomes the next Minister of Defense. Nigeria needs leaders with courage, integrity, and a true passion for protecting the nation. And he embodies all these qualities. May his leadership bring peace, unity, and a stronger Nigeria for all. Kingsley Mogalo says, I don't know recently whether Orsted, former Chief of Defense Staff General Chris Musa's new appointment within the days of his retirement in uncertain circumstances as Nigerian new Minister of Defense will deliver the goods in terms of our country's struggle with terrorism. I certainly hope it helps, but it does tell me that God watches over his. Setbacks are sometimes simply a bouncing canopy for a higher jump. I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to bring you to a perfect end. Jeremiah chapter 29 verses 11. Alex Oti is trending after the Abia governor met President Tinubu in Abuja to push for a resolution to Nnamdi Kanu's detention. Talks his aide described as positive, with Oti insisting it's crucial for peace in the southeast. Bashir Ahmed says, President Tinubu is not a court of law and certainly not the judiciary. The best assistance Governor Oti can offer his convicted brother is to advise him to remain a law-abiding prisoner for now and seek redress through the proper legal channels. If there are grounds for appeal, let it be taken to the upper courts. Nigeria is governed by law. Justice is not negotiated in private meetings, nor reversed by presidential courtesy. The courtroom remains the only place where convictions are tested and overturned. Shigozurim Aliyu says, Alex Oti knows exactly what he is doing. He knows President Tinubu can't order the release of a convicted terrorist, but he keeps twisting the narrative to brainwash the fools in his state into voting him for second tenure as Abia governor. Jack the Builder says Tinubu must not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until they get him to sign an undertaking. None of these governors can ask him to stop and he will listen. Don't let them play with the lives of our people. Hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu until he agrees to drop his madness in the name of agitation. And that's a wrap for this week's Trending Stories.
In this edition of the Mike On Podcast.
Opposition remains a prison through which democratic growth can be measured. Through criticism, analysis, and pressure, it is allowed to pitch its visions for the country and outline how it intends to achieve them. In this edition of the Mike On Podcast, High Chief Peter Ojonugwa Ame, a leading opposition voice and former chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council of Nigeria, IRAC, sits with Sheun Okunbaloye to discuss the politics of 2027, Nigeria's current security challenges, recent decisions of President Bola Tinubu, and other government policies. Join the conversation today on the Mike On Podcast.
everyone. Welcome to the Micon podcast. I'm Seun Okimaloye. The year 2025 is gradually winding down, and like many of you, I'm taking a moment to reflect. But how has 2025 been for you? Are you still pushing towards those goals, hoping to squeeze out and win even the final lap of the year? If you are, don't worry. Hang in there. Sometimes the breakthroughs come right in. For Nigeria, 2025 has been anything but easy. The past few weeks alone have tested our collective resilience. We are all hoping that the dark cloud of troubling headlines begins to clear. Banditry, kidnapping for ransom, insurgency, and every term that describes a violent crimes choking our communities have dominated the front pages of our national dailies. The human toll is heavy. The emotional toll even heavier. So what exactly is the way out of this troubling situation? How do we begin to reclaim our peace on the political front? Party politics is taking an interesting turn with new alignments, defections, and shifting loyalties, making the landscape even more unpredictable. In a time like this, what role should opposition politics be playing? And is the opposition rising to the occasion or leaving a vacuum that affects all of us? To help us dissect these issues, I have High Chief Peter Ame, a former national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, joins me here in our podcast studio. Thank you so much indeed for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. 2025 is gradually winding down. Well, in your own estimation, how do you think, as a nation, how would you assess? How do you think we've fared?
We've not fared very well. We've fared really bad. And the condition that we're currently facing is as a result of the inability of those who took power, to properly manage the affairs of the country. If you look at what has happened is that there's no good communication from the presidency. Presidency, was more interested in spending most of his time outside of this country. The only reason why the president remained behind today was because they felt Donald Trump was breathing through their breathing on their head, and that's why they were, really very shaky and unstable. Then you saw some level of movement in attempting to address some of the challenges that have plagued this government since the resumption of office. So we have a very big challenge, and a lot of Nigerians are grinding their teeth, they are gnashing, and they are in pain because the middle class is totally wiped out. There's nothing showing that the economic activities of this country, because you can't be talking about statistics and talking about GDPs, and at the end of the day, there's not putting money in the pocket of the ordinary people, and then the dining table is empty. People can't feed themselves. The cost of living has really gone through the roof. These are the truth. Whether they want to confront it or not, they know these are the truth. But because the people in the presidency and those in government are actually insulated from some of this problem, and we have a kind of government that does not, like I said, doesn't relate to the people, don't go out to see what is happening. It's from the presidency maybe to the National Assembly, from the National Assembly to France, to England, and back to the presidency, or to his house in Baudelaire. So we have a situation where there's a disconnect between the government and those who are, the citizens that are, that are supposed to, bear the brunt of policies of ST policies, unplanned policies that are actually, driving our people into poverty.
But if you look at things, what has happened, and you alluded to the fact that we are seeing movements, maybe based on what Donald Trump has said, and you're saying that this government seems to have woken up.
They're not working. When you do something based on eye service, it's not that you're working. What they are doing is to try to, stop Donald Trump from not carrying out some of his threats and some of his warning against the plan action they intend to.
So whatever they are doing now under this Tinubu government is to please Trump.
It's to please Trump. It's cosmetic in the nature that all they want is to be able to. Look, how much have they spent?
Is Tinubu afraid of Trump?
Of course, even most of his party men have said it. Even Akpabio said that Trump is watching over them, and Trump is, them. So the fact remains.
Why would Tinubu be afraid of Trump?
Because we have not built our system in a way that will be self-sustaining.
We're a sovereign state.
We're a sovereign state in one ground where the bandits have taken control of Zamfara, of Katsina, are taking control of major cities of this country. They're collecting levies and taxes. What is sovereign about that? I've read about sovereignty. I know about territorial protection of integrity. Which one is that they're protecting? As we're talking today, 300 and something children from the Kali school in Nigeria are still in captivity. And we negotiated with bandit to be able to release the one that was taken in Kebbi.
No,
so
the government said
there was negotiation, because as soon as they said, they called the people, they discussed with them. So there was negotiation. And you don't know what in negotiation, something happened. In fact, I believe that something exchange has, and they are further and expanding the bandit.
But you don't have evidence to prove
No,
that.
it's my belief and it's my personal opinion.
But the government
I'm
said
entitled to this
there was
opinion.
no kobo that was
in Section
exchanged.
40.
Yeah.
That
The
is
government
what
said there's no
that's
kobo
what the
that was
government.
exchanged.
How much has the government come out clean to tell us what kind of communication happened between them and the bandits? That the government know where the bandits are, and that the bandits are afraid of the actions of the government, and the government will take care of them. Is it that the government is playing tricks with us, or they are trying to manage a way that the banditry is also part of a system that keeps people in power?
Are you one of those who are doubting or overthinking how some of the Kwara, some of the Kebbi students and Kwara worshippers were released? Because there are those who say, how did you release them? If you actually went to take the war to them, wouldn't you have killed any one of them? There are those who are of the school of thought. There are those who will say, maybe there are other means by which the government, and what the most important thing is that we got them out.
There's no other means. If you go to get them out, there will be confrontation. There'll be exchange of some kind of actions or bullets. And at the end of the day, there will be casualties or some sort of injury. But what we got is the fact that even the spokesman to the government, Bayo Ononuga, said they communicated with the bandit. There was a communication. There was a discussion.
Is that a crime?
So yes, no. We can't share our territory with people who are, hell bent in destroying it. With people who have already undermined our sovereignty, people who have already undermined our government. These people are on TikTok, but they're saying all sorts of things against the government.
There are soft targets, those who are in captivity.
There's no need of talking
innocent ones that we need to get out. They are primary, don't you think?
See, I've done research about vulnerability of the schools, why they go to vulnerable school, because they are children and they can actually take them without them screening or fighting for help. But you can't be in government, and you saw this had happened before, and you cannot put strategy in place to arrest it. There are a lot of technology now. You can plant sensor cameras around the school. We don't have security. Most of these schools are not fenced. They don't have
But there's a
parameter
safe
fencing.
school initiative.
Well, it is not working.
The NSCDC is meant to
It's
safeguard.
not working. Let's drop in lip service to these things. We don't even see the resources, where the resources going. Today we have a situation where 14.2 million pounds was spent in NNPC office in London. For what? You have a situation where another was spent for entertainment. How much was that? About 30 billion naira was spent for entertainment at the National Oil Company of Nigeria office. You have about 17.5 trillion spent on securing pipelines. What kind of security are you offering? That is more than 12 years of subsidy we have paid. You have 7.something trillion that was also paid for subsidy in 2024. When the president said in 2023, May 29, that the subsidy was gone. So we don't have a government that is accountable to our people. They are not giving us enough record of what they are earning and what they are spending. You go up and say, no, our reserve has increased. But you say that is the highest reserve in the last 7 years. But this is still the APC government. You are indicted. You cannot disassociate yourself from the APC mismanagement and destruction of our economy.
You seem very dissatisfied with this government.
Sincerely, this government has really disappointed everybody, including their party members. They're just pretending. It's got most of them on the table. They're enjoying what they call table manners. But the truth remains that this government has failed the people. You can't imagine the level of poverty in rural communities.
Can you say a government has failed? This is half time. 50% into the chair. And that those will say, oh, maybe at some point you will see traction, and maybe allow this government to be able to live up to the third year, towards the fourth year, a lot. Then you may be able to judge. There are football games that you see at halftime that it will be 0-0, and at the end of the day, the game might end 4-0.
No, this is governance, and this is about the lives of our people, and it's a serious business. It's not football. This is about people's standard. You have to measure people's standard of living, whether people are doing well. Where have they put the money? Our investors are not getting better funding. Also are not getting their money.
Students are getting loans.
What loan? To how many percentage of people in school? So we have a challenge. You look at how much they say they've spent in giving to the less from the humanitarian ministry. Most of the family members can't get the money. So there's a corruption issue, and there's a gap in the management of the public financing. If we need to get things right, we need to have a government that is transparent. As I speak to you, there was a portal during Jonathan time that every amount of money government spends, whatever comes into government, is publicly displayed, and people go there. The APC government have shut it down. Without transparency, you cannot say there's no corruption.
Would you be fair to this government to have to be alleged to now inferring that this government is corrupt? On what basis would you say this government is corrupt?
I've given you statistics of how much they spend. You can't spend 17.255 trillion. We'll say you are securing a pipeline.
But these are
how
inherited. These are things that have come over the years.
Government is a continuum. Talking about ABC.
But would you say the Tinubu government is corrupt when you're talking about?
As he reviewed this process, as he looked at it, why do we continue to pay such amount of money? Why are we investing where it's not impacting the life of the vast majority of people? Tell me which of the federal medical centers Tinubu invested money. Tell me which of the national hospital, where is he investing money? Tell me of the national teaching hospitals that we have across Nigeria, from OAU to Nnamdi Azikiwe and all of that. Where have they invested the money? So there's no money. They are not caring for the people. These people are always interested in the fact that they can get health care from foreign countries, and their doctors are there. They can tell you there's no country in the world where the president will always tell people that he's going for medical support.
Chivame, are you being critical only because you are a Peter Obi supporter, and you are not seeing any good at all in what his government has done in the last 2 years? Some of the things that you have punctured tonight, maybe there are things that this government will come out to say in health, this is what we have done. In infrastructure, this is what we have done. In education, this is what we have done. But you don't seem to see any good at all in this government. Is it because of your bias?
No, you have known me for a long time. I've been talking about good governance for a long time, and that's the major reason why I will support Peter Obi, not for anything, because it's not. If people joining the APC, they don't have any specific credentials that I don't have. I have a lot of friends there, and a lot of them are there. I could have just joined, but the fact remains that there are clear terms. The president have not shown me that the table established for transparency, that they are ticking it. All the checkpoints, they are ticking it. You talk about 750 kilometer coastal highway of Lagos Calabar. How was the contract awarded? It was shady. There was no public bidding. There was nothing. It was just taken and given to one contractor that happens to be his friend. You talk about trying to bring somebody from Belarus to bring mechanized equipment for agriculture. He said the person was his classmate in Chicago. This is what you don't even take in normal government cycles where we learn the democratic practice from. Look at Canada. The whole mayor was asked to resign because she flew a private jet with her family to attend the burial of Nelson Mandela, and they said that private jet is meant for official use. You can't use it for family and friends. So we get it right, because we're not just looking at government from the fact that people come to make press conference or people talk about how much money they've earned or how much they're spending. We're looking at the foundation of what you need to do. What are you doing to uplift the life of the people? The vast majority of our people are suffering, and they can relate. People talk about, people don't want to appreciate this government, that this government, everything we do, we're very critical. We're not critical. CG Musa was just recently appointed. Where did you see people complaining? No, ask yourself.
So you think that that's a good decision?
Where did you see people? Look at the people.
Is this a good decision?
It's a good decision for me.
What about the decision of the president to withdraw protection for VIP, to go back for them to go into normal policing duty?
You see, I think there are too many comfortable situation for people who are in government, and because of that, they are not taking of the care of the people, because everybody's just having police. Even House of Rep members, senators, everybody now, private citizens are getting police. It's not a problem anywhere in the world, but the fact that we don't have enough policemen, what the president should have done, you don't do anything in hasty. It is a hasty decision and impulsive decision that the president took in May 29, 2023 that have left us into this level of poverty. Because if the president have relaxed to be able to study the oil industry, look at the downstream, and look at all the challenges that are there, then the president would have taken an informed decision that would have not skyrocketed the cost of transportation that eventually affected the cost of goods and services. So if you want to withdraw, I think the president should have been able to establish a model for recruitment that within social time and in the next 1 year, we'll be able to recruit 100,000, not the one that will eat agbado and corn and this, the one really policemen that will be professionally trained. Because most of these communities, you will not find any policemen. And that's why I also support the CJ Musa when he says that soldiers should be withdrawn from federal highway. What soldiers doing checkpoint? What? When we have civil defense, we have police. And you can't destroy institution, because people must understand that keeping the Inspector General of Police beyond his time is also affecting the junior officers' morale. Because there are people, you look at the level, how growth happens in public service. When a person takes off his time, serves 35 years in service, or attain a certain age and leaves, the next person will come in. But if you do government of patronizing government, where you patronize friends and family, because you know the current IG, you felt it should be there, that's only you can have trust. You must have trust in the constitution of this country. You must have trust in the foundation of the laws that establish these institutions and this framework that kept them in place to work and respect the constitution of our country. So the president is not playing this management of our public engagement very well. He should be able to allow people who time have come to go, so that you can build public trust and also build morale within the forces. So from there, you can have a process where people can really defend.
So you do not think President Tinubu has done the right thing, or is at the driver's seat in terms of decision making over security situation in this country?
No, he hasn't. The only decision he took is because of Trump. He hasn't taken any decision all this while. He didn't even care. I didn't even see him doing anything. It was because of Trump, and one, it was because for his own safety, and it's selfish, because we had a rumor that there was a coup in this country, and suddenly we saw that the service chief was changed, and that is personal, because I do not see those level of enthusiasm on his own part to say, look, let me go here, let me go here. How many places has he visited? How many places has he been able to comfort people? Look at what happened at Capitol Hill the last time, at the presidential American White House, where 2 personnel were shot. What happened? The president addressed the nation. The National Security Advisor addressed the nation. Everybody addressing the nation, including the mayor of Washington. But we are having people, getting kidnapped. People are shot and killed in the church at Kwara, and you will not have seen the president to come out and speak with the people, because it's about compassion. You must be able to relate and sympathetic to the well-being of our people, because people are missing it. The primary purpose why government was created is not for government to build school. Here you could build school. This is, you captured it in section, in fundamental principle of state policy. But it is not, that will come up. But the primary purpose is the security of life and property. Because it is when property and life are secure that people flourish. Because if you have a property and you can't live there, you can't flourish. Right. If you have a community, you can't travel there, the community won't flourish. So government has failed in making sure this fundamental objective, primary objective of government, to secure the lives and property of our people, is in safe hands.
You recently referred to the security situation in the north central region of the country as a massacre. I mean that you agree with former U.S. President, the U.S. President Donald Trump's characterization of the situation as Christian genocide?
For me, I think there's a lot of killing. And I think the killing is one-sided, to be sincere with you. We've not seen, I've not seen, any evidence where, Christians are leading a crusade, to kill anybody. And I think that the level of genocide that is happening, is the responsibility of government to stop it. It is not in me to give it a narrative or to give it a definition.
So you're saying there's Christian genocide?
There's a genocide in this country.
Is there a Christian genocide?
It could be ethnic, it could be it could be regional, and it could be a Christian one. It could be take any form.
What do you think is going on?
What I feel is that there's a massacre in this country, and there is a genocide against the minority and the Christian population of the Middle Belt. There's no doubt. We can't color it, because you can't come to a community in Yawata and wipe out 200 and some people overnight, and you tell me that we should not say that there's something going on. You can't go to Biron, go to Rion, go to Bokos, and people are dying. No, we shouldn't continue like that. Yes, there are people dying on the both 2 sides of the divide, but leaders in the north must wake up, and they must be sincere to themselves, because people who started this problem were doing it based on their political selfish interest, by creating a system that eventually has gone beyond the reach and control of their own people. And the only way we can stop it, there was a time in this country I didn't believe that the Nigerian can strip, put a bomb on himself and explode. I didn't believe it. I was sitting with all my friends who were generous. It would
Oriyomi, welcome. Oh,
generals today, but
sorry, I don't know what happened there.
generals today, but they were, junior officers at the time. We're talking about, I say no, it happened in Nigeria until I lost.
Guys, please double tap your screen device to like. The likes are very low. The likes are very, very low, guys. Happy Sunday to everyone. Please double tap your screen device or click on the three dots on the right hand side to like the show. Please continue to take the likes up. We only have very few likes and we have over 140 people viewing. Please continue to double tap your screen device.
Generals today, but they were, junior officers at the time. We're talking about, I say no, it can't happen in Nigeria until I lost a relative. So it is a very bad situation that is going on. The only way we can save it now is that Nigeria has become a very lucrative center for banditry, for those who want to make money. We have one of the most porous border crossing in the world. You are from Niger to Cameroon and the Chad border. People are just crossing.
I mean, so it comes to the point that some of your friends are in Washington, D.C., and they are the ones pushing the Trump administration that there is Christian genocide and that this government is killing Christians.
I've never had a friend per se that I would say is in the US.
When I say your friends, those there are information as to the fact
there
that
could be
those
citizens
whom
of this
you
country.
are political association and affiliation with are in Washington, D.C., and they are the ones pushing this narrative
there's
against
nothing
Nigeria.
like that. The people pushing this narrative are people who are in government today. It is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is the APC, them Shehu Sani, all of them who were posting on Twitter, including Omoye, who were writing on Twitter, who were speaking to the US government that there's Christian genocide in this country. Go and look at it, the records are there. They can delete it. The Nigerian public knows the truth. They were the one pushing it. But today, this document have come to the forefront of discussion. And the American government is treating their proposal and their petition to the government. So they cannot deny it. And I cannot say that I have any person. If I have a person in the United States that they pushing it, I will be here and I will admit it. There's nothing to run about and there's nothing to hide. But the fact that I have nobody in the United States today that I've seen pushing, apart from the information that I've seen during the Jonathan regime, Jonathan administration, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu categorically made statement that there's Christian genocide. When I've seen some from Shehu Sani, when I've seen from Reno Mokre and others, they've made this statement more than several times, and they've also communicated this statement to the United States. So for the challenge we have is that people are not willing, people are not consistent in their principles and in their public statement. They will say one thing tomorrow and change tomorrow. You can never find that with me. Whatever I said last year, 10 years ago, even on your show or wherever you have interviewed me, I've stood by them, because I believe that no man should be so inconsistent that people will not know where he stands in times of crisis. Today, there are these challenges that we have today is critical, and we will need support, international support, in whichever manner, to be able to make sure that we stop we eradicate these people who are bent on making Nigeria go on their knees to beg them to have a place to sleep at night. People can no longer sleep with their eyes closed. That's not the kind of country I envisioned when I was growing up.
You see, some of the decisions that this government has made, for example, the appointment of ambassadors. There are those who say this is long coming. It should have happened a long time ago. What's your assessment of some of the personalities and the profile of the people who are being appointed or nominated?
The character of these people frightens me. I wish I would not have children that will eventually grow up and behave like that. We want people that our children will be modeled after, with high level of morality, with a very kind of ethics character that people can be proud of. You today have Didane Boala, who have also said on several times that there's Christian genocide in the north. He's speaking for the president today. Then you have people like Reno, who have called the president all kind of unprintable names, a drug peddler, a certificate forger, and all sorts of things. Today, he's going to be he has gotten something for standing on the line. And his only reason why it's important today is because he has the capacity to insult and call names. That is why it's important. He's going to be an ambassador.
Guys, please help me to double tap your screen device to like. The likes are very low. Please double tap your screen device to like the show. continue to double tap. I want it to get to a certain point and then we can continue. The likes are very, very low. We have almost 200 views and the likes are nothing to write home about. So I know some of you struggle with how to like, especially with the way YouTube is right now. So all you need to do is double tap on your screen device or click on the three dots on the right hand side to like the live. You can also share from there and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. This is very important so that we can continue to shine the torchlight on this. You know, it's still ongoing. I don't know if you guys know, Representative Riley visited Abuja today with Nuhu Ribadu and the rest, and I'm sure you guys saw them in Benue. We have to continue to put the pressure on so that this can be taken care of. I don't know if you guys know that there's a coup attempt, or there was a coup attempt, or there's currently a coup going on in Benin Republic. Okay, though they're trying to say that it was foiled, but just an hour ago, the person who's leading the coup came out and said nothing is wrong with him, and they're demanding that this man steps down. So I think there's what's it called? There'll be a lot more information coming out as the time goes on, but there's a current coup going on in Benin Republic. So please, guys, continue to double tap the screen device. I appreciate it. Thank you so much to those who have liked.
This list. I don't think the Nigerians were really impressed. It's not me. You can check, do what they call voice properly and conduct your research. You find out that Nigerians were not really impressed with the list because there's something we call foreign service regulations, where, you need to have career ambassadors. They say, this is a prerogative right of the president to appoint. It's a political authority, he can appoint, but you must do things in a way that will have professionals who have been trained, who have probably attend courses.
Oriyomi, there was a coup. There still looks like it's still ongoing, though, because just an hour ago, I saw a video of the man, what's it called? The person leading the coup, because they said they had unalived the man and stuff like that. The man came out and said they've not unalived him, that they want to take over their country. They are asking this man. Yay! They're asking because the man changed the constitution to give himself 7-year term. Okay? They want to remove the president, Talon. I don't know what's wrong with African leaders. But just an hour ago, I'm still looking to see if I can find more updated information. Yeah, look at it right here. Although he spoke in French, he said, look, Pascal, this is Colonel Pascal Tigri, warning France. Don't believe the French media. This is Colonel Pascal Tigri. Contrary to what they're saying, he's not on the run and he's not unalived. I told you the Minister of Interior who announced, this is from the person's handle, Sai Marcos Have Traore. That's what the handle says. It says, I told you the Minister of Interior who announced that the coup was foiled was speaking from a private TV, not from the national and state-owned TV, ORTB. I also told you that the fact that Macron called Tinubu to intervene militarily is a proof that France has failed to thwart the coup. They don't control shit. The coup was consummated. Colonel Tigri is warning France to not get involved in this and is calling on the masses to join them in liberating their country from imperialism. So I did see some videos on TikTok where people have taken to the street. So, I'm still monitoring to see if there's any more information that will come out. Guys, thank you so much for those who have liked. Please, if you have not yet liked, continue to double tap your screen device. Thank you.
Level of attend the foreign affairs academy, and also do all sorts of things that will be able to go out and engage with their counterpart whenever they live here, to represent Nigeria. The list leave a lot of sour taste in my mouth and the mouth of a lot of Nigerians. There's nothing there. The list is just for political consideration, which is not something to be. It's supposed to be a professional list, a list driven. Yes, you could have politicians and non-career ambassadors, attached to the list, but there are a lot of other people that you could have carried. I'm not impressed with the list.
But these are Nigerians. There are those who believe that there is nobody that the president appoints that people will not criticize. There will be those who think that these some of the nominations should not happen, no matter what.
I'm not even. The president can use his own hand to destroy his own government. I don't care. It's just that it affects me. I live in this ecosystem. It affects me the way I'm viewed internationally, the way I'm seen. Because you can't juxtapose it when you play a video about a person insulting and calling the president all sort of name about some few years ago, and you build another video that's a person singing him. So there's a challenge of character here, and I'm not worried for him. I'm worried for our people. I'm worried for our country, because we will have a challenge where this will go. Because like when these foreign embassies you see, as soon as you are carrying your own background check here, they're also carrying their own background check over there. They know the character of the person you are sending, what they can do to undermine them, and what their weakness, and they do a SWOT analysis on them. So you can't say that we do not have people. For the National Intelligence Agency, for the foreign affairs, you have people, even in the military, you have people who have gone to foreign attaché, who have spent 4 years. You have people at that level who have a lot of experience. You can do a proper search. This one today is just a reaction. This ambassadorial list is also part of the reactionary the decision of the president to quickly appoint, because of the tweet that came out of Donald Trump's handle. So if we can be controlled by mere tweet, there's no time the president has shown any sort of reaction to all the cries, all the shouting of Nigerians that have said they are suffering, they are frustrated, there's no extension of governance to where they live, or they are not feeling the impact of government. The government has not reacted. The government never reacted. Right. They only reacted because of a tweet from another president.
It does look like you are campaigning for Emilokan in 2027. The manner in which of your public engagement, it looks like you think that Peter Obi, it is his turn to be Nigeria's president.
No, it's beyond that.
Let me quote some of the things that you have said. You said in your recent tweet, you said, "Baboon know they walk, make monkey they chop." Peter Obi is from southern Nigeria, and it is the turn of the south.
Everybody is not from the south. We're talking about the opposition side. They're making from the south.
Is that not an Emilokan tendency?
No. What we are saying is that they have been, see.
So you're already preaching the Emilokan philosophy. That it is the turn of the south. That is the Emilokan philosophy.
No, it's not.
That is our turn. It's my turn.
Nigeria has an integrated and a complex ethnic regional problem. And since we got into democratic practice, we have been doing rotation. You go to the south. In 2011, you saw how people voted against Jonathan. That it was not the turn of the south. So what we are doing, if we are going to abolish that, we can all come out and abolish it. I'm a man that sticks to principles, and I stick to an agreement. If we want to abolish it, we say there's no certain in northern dichotomy when it comes to presidential election. Let everybody.
So you are saying that in 2027 it has to be a southern candidate
for 2027 for the opposition. It's better because it's not just for a southern candidate. Yeah. They need to have a candidate that has the capacity, the appeal, the understanding, and the public acceptance to be able to deliver the vote to the opposition. We couldn't just be going to election just because we want to go to election. We need to have that candidate that comes on board and give the opposition traction. And that's why I feel that it's P2B. When I said baboon know the monkey know the woman baboon the chop, is the reason, is the problem is that you can't want to benefit from a support base of a candidate and want that candidate not to have the opportunity to generate.
What political party is P2B right now?
P2B is the Labour Party.
At the moment?
There's no lie about that.
It's not in ADC?
It's the Labour Party, man. There's an agreement, and he said that when the time is ready, he's going to announce when he will join the ADC. There was that agreement. I was in that meeting. Yeah, so it's not something that was done in.
So for you, it is either P2B or nothing.
No, I won't change my mind. There's nothing there.
Even if he doesn't get the ticket of any political party. I'm not pursuing
anything again. I'm so happy because all I want to do is to leave a lasting legacy for my children to know that I stand on what I believe in, and my principles have not shifted over the years that I've been in politics. And that's the essence, because there could be and there should be morality in politics, because we are trying to destroy this fabric of political engagement for the young generation, thinking that it is a quick pro a game where you just come, you benefit, and you go. How many people were ministers during Jonathan? Who remembers them?
But Chivame, are you worried that Peter Obi might not be able to replicate the numbers that he garnered in the 2023 election if he is on the ballot in 2027?
We are not just running election and just making speculation out of the blues. Also carry out that, we also collect data, do a lot of engagement. I just came back from a journey, I told you. So these are the things we do behind closed door, and we know what is there. And we know that the only person that this government does not want to be on the ballot is Peter Obi. They are doing everything.
So Peter Obi can defeat Bola
Tinubu. One counter many times. Bayo Ononuga has posted about Peter Obi on his Twitter page.
What does that mean?
He's worried. He's worried about Peter Obi. They are worried. They don't talk anything without talking about Peter Obi.
If Atiku Abubakar, you think Tinubu is not afraid of Atiku Abubakar?
It's not.
He's not afraid of Rotimi Amechi. He's not afraid. He's the only person Tinubu is afraid of is Peter Obi.
He's on record. They know it. There's a high level of fear.
If Peter Obi goes head to head with Bola Tinubu, you think Peter Obi will beat Bola Tinubu?
We got into this democracy in 1999. The APC did everything to defeat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. They couldn't. They did everything. They brought further might, they brought resources, they brought connection. They could not. It took the Peter Obi to garner about 1 million votes that was reduced to 500,000 votes. It took a Peter Obi to come to FCT when there was seat of power to defeat the Tinubu. It took a Peter Obi, go and watch a Premium Times report.
But there are feelers that the only viable option to be able to defeat Bola Tinubu or the APC is to unite. Have a formidable force that coming together, they coming together of the opposition forces to come together to battle against Bola Tinubu. If not, there's no way. Those who are of that opinion.
I speak for myself, and Peter Obi himself knows, even as much as we have argued about these things, and he knows my opinion, and I've never been shy of saying my opinion. I don't think that is the situation. I think that we must have a proper opposition meeting where it's properly organized and towards having a candidate that is acceptable by the people. We can't just decide on our own that we are going to force something through the truth of those who are going to vote for us, because Bola Tinubu, whether you like it or you don't want to believe it, is in power. So you can't come and bring somebody that will not be able to excite the young population, that will not be able to excite the electorate to go to the polls and vote.
Does Peter Obi excite the younger population?
People are injured. I saw in Lagos where a lady got her eye, almost removed, and she went back after treatment to go and vote.
You think that will be replicated in 2027?
It will go more than that. People are disappointed, no doubt. I saw a lot of people disappointed because they saw the vote being stolen, they saw the mandate disappeared, they saw a lot of things happen, they saw the glitches that are unexplained in today.
APC has garnered more states.
It has never been like that. In 2019, when Peter contested, he won as a vice president, he defeated everybody in the Southeast. He got the vote. But when they tried it with Okowa in 2023, with APC, with their PDP, they couldn't get the South side. Don't forget, in 2023 election, Okowa was the vice president candidate of the PDP in the Delta. Peter scored over 80-something% of the vote in Delta. It is not, elections have changed, the dynamics have changed, the system have changed. Before we used to talk, I've been in police, you know me. We used to sit in a room and say that, you have a councillor here, you will bring 4 votes. You have a governor here, you will bring this vote. It's not like that again. We have more young people who are more enlightened. What we had before were older people who believe in the same procedure, the same style of playing game, and they do a bad wagon effect. But there are young people today that will not put their vote. There are young people today.
But this feeling that if Atiku and Peter Obi join forces, they will be able to defeat anyone.
We have been joining forces. We are joining forces right now. That is the essence of the coalition.
So if Peter Obi becomes the vice presidential candidate for Atiku Abubakar in 2027, you don't think that will solve the problem?
I don't believe so. A lot of people believe that, and I'm not excited about it. For me, I think we should all continue to pursue our idea of a better Nigeria, and that person that that I feel is perfectly suited for that position is Peter Obi, and I think that. I've known Peter Obi for a long time. And one thing I know about him is his prudent nature. I think one of the greatest challenge we face in government today is the waste in our government. I've told you about the kind of money being spent. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company of Nigeria spent 30 billion naira on entertainment. 30 billion naira on entertainment. Just to drink tea and water. And nobody's accounting, nobody's being held responsible for that. I saw the audit report. We're talking about 17.5 trillion naira for pipeline security. We're talking about 7.5 trillion for subsidy in 2024 when we had the 2023 budget that shouldn't even carry anything like subsidy. So these are challenges that were clear. You say you are putting money in this in. There's no mitigating factor for the removal of subsidy. Today, people look for money. People earn 100,000 naira in 2023. We're able to work and go to work because of those impulsive decisions. I'm telling you, inflation has deeply eaten out into the pocket of these young Nigerians and have made them to become underemployed. They're no longer employed. They go to work, but they're underemployed, and they suffer the consequences of that decision of the president. Go and try the cost of transportation from Massacre to Abuja to Abuja today. It is mind-blowing. So anybody who works within that range, it's not because they are not well paid. It is because the government policy destroyed their earnings.
So in your mind, Peter Obi is the Messiah that we all should wait for.
As a Christian, I don't want to use Messiah, but I think he's the right person, and I'm very sure, I'm convinced. There's nothing hard. I will want to be in government. I have friends who have called me that please God go and meet this person. I have friends who have senior people I've worked with, before. I won't want to mention who are senior men in the APC, but I am convinced for the purpose of public and prudent management of our public resources, Peter Obi is the best person, because if we go by cost-cutting measures and we reduce the cost of governance, I'm telling you, we'll be able to save enough money to improve on our healthcare, to improve on infrastructure about our road, to improve infrastructure about how we manage our institution. We have wasted a lot of resources in doing nothing, and we are not moving because we continue to have motion without movement. So much money being spent, much budget being appropriated.
You so much believe in Peter Obi, but someone like Wike, the FCT minister, doesn't think that the effort or the performance of Peter Obi in Anambra State when he was governor is anything to write home about. That record, he doesn't think is enough to be able to hand over the affairs of this country into the hands of a Peter Obi.
When did he start behaving like that? When? Of recent. Because there are videos of him going to commission project with Peter Obi in Anambra, where he was praising Peter Obi for being the most prudent governor, the most successful governor in the history of our country. There are videos. Those videos are there. So when did it change? Is it after the Premium Times report and the expose of the BBC about the election in Rivers State that results were manipulated in favor of Tinubu in the state? Is it after that? Because I don't know when it changed. I don't know when his decision about
But his view is that in the 8 years of running the affairs of Anambra State, Peter Obi kept state funds in the bank instead of investing in infrastructure, and therefore lacks the moral standard to criticize other people.
That's why Nigeria is not saving for the future. There was a time we wanted to have a national, they call it, it's keeping my head now, the fund that we're supposed to save at the time during the Okonjo-Iweala, Nigeria's sovereign wealth fund or something, and the governors went against it. This money is supposed to be saved for future generation and be able to cushion whatever external shock that comes to affect the country. What Peter Obi was doing was to increase the credit rating of the state, and that is what you do. Nobody keeps the money that you could steal. Every government who wants to live, they steal money. You can't keep money in the bank account when you know you have the capacity to steal the money. And don't forget, if you go to just suppose the budget of that time, when governors were barely, maybe in Anambra, were barely receiving 2.5 billion per month as monthly allocation, 2.5, 2.3, or 3 billion. Today, look at what governors are getting, and there's no accountability. Look at what people got, people like him got from derivation money, where they got extra money. What did they do in their state? There's nothing. So, but in Anambra, if you go back to look at the budget, you will discover that the man was almost earning like 2 billion, 3 billion from FAC on a monthly basis. And that was a fresh point in trying to develop the internal revenue architecture of the state. So at that foundation level, you have to build for the next people.
On a final note, what do you see for Nigeria, especially in the politics of 2027 at its building? In the next few months, we are actively going to get into that politics.
I see brighter future, and I think that the population of Nigerian voter today and the demographic have changed, to be able to drive a new course for our people. We need to have a Nigeria that is solely driven on the basis of merit, credibility, competence and capacity. And these are the things I see in Peter Obi. And for that kind of future for our country, we'll be able to develop a country that will be the envy of many, many countries, many foreigners, and many of our admirers who have also changed their mind. Look at the story of Rwanda. Look at the story of Rwanda. Today they are running the one Rwanda program, and it's generating a lot of the capital city is the cleanest in Africa. They have the one of the highest level of women inclusive participation in governance, about 63%. So we can change our story with proper leadership, with proper focus. Because what we lack today, we're running our government on impulse. You wake up today, the president said this is what you want to do. We have no long-term, medium-term, and short-term national plan. None of that we don't have. And no country has survived without having that. And because we don't do government by continuity, we do government, by, at this point in time, the president, they say the body language of Buhari. We suffer the body language of Buhari today now. We're suffering the name given to Tinubu. Strategy, he has Mr. Strategy, and that strategy is not ending up bringing food to the table of the common man. Even if you study economics, you can't even you don't know the theory you use to calculate the kind of money that comes from Harare market and goes out, or the one that comes to Aba International and goes out. And you can't have the theory to be able to continue to call theory, whether based on consumption or whatever reason you want to call it, that will not put food on the table of the common man, and you have economic prosperity. The only way you can say you have economic prosperity is when the common man of this country, of this nation, can be able to have public transportation system, can be able to be boastful of private water into their compound without them running a water scheme on their own, that can be able to be sure that the security on the street is stable enough to service him and his family. These are when you will know that there's a progress in our government. But for now, I'm not happy with the level of decision that the president has taken so far.
Chief Peter Ahmed, thank you so much indeed for your time on the Micon podcast.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
With that, our conversation on the
Thank you very much, guys. For those of you who have liked, thank you. I appreciate it. Please continue to double tap your screen device if you have not yet liked. Welcome once again, everybody, and happy Sunday to everyone. So I'm going to bring the guys up quickly. Maybe some of you are already aware. So this is the video of this was just 2 hours ago. When I saw it, it was an hour ago, right? So, and I read it earlier. So if you want to see or hear what I read, you can go back a few minutes and listen. So because they were saying that the coup there's nothing like coup, or it's been scuffled. That's what they were saying, but it turns out it hasn't yet, but we'll see. Now, the U.S. delegation has arrived in Nigeria. They met with Ribadu on strategic security partnership. This is Representative Riley Moore. I don't know if you guys recognize him. He's on the the right-hand side, the very first person you see. Nuhu Ribadu is in the middle. Of course, you guys know who Nuhu Ribadu is. And let's see. Okay, so this is like the short video of their meeting and all of that. This is from Nuhu Ribadu's. No, it's not. Okay. So that's it right there. Now, ADC is calling, they are dragging Peter Obi. Come, make up your mind on joining us. But Peter Obi said there are things they have not cleared up yet, so he's not joining anything yet. And the ADC, for me, I don't feel comfortable with the ADC. Bam, that's it. I do not. I think these people they have tricks up their sleeves, and they want to suck Peter Obi in because he has the momentum. I say, if they are serious, they know who the popular candidate is. There's no way in hell that we're going to vote an article. It's not going to happen. Not with this Fulani terrorism that is going on. Read the room. They should learn to read the room. The people want a candidate that is excellent. Other than that, they should give Amechi to Atiku to run in ADC. It's okay. they should, Atiku and Amechi should run together. It's all right. We will meet outside. It's simple as ABC. Anyway, moving along. This is okay, same video.
Not drink alcohol. But their big bird, they will put it inside a kettle and take it to their bedroom and be sipping it. Inside that kettle they used to
The
buy.
kettle is for pollution.
Blue water. Go and check. When they finish, they wash it and keep it somewhere.
Oh, God.
Tell me that no Northerners drink alcohol. Esther, no, don't tell me.
First, have you seen anyone?
No, tell me that
in a kettle?
none of them drink alcohol. And I will give you several examples now.
What if they take just wine, red wine, rich wine, cherry wine?
Really?
Not necessarily alcoholic wine.
And the Talakawas drink what?
Sorry, guys.
Is it not the absence of drinking beer that made them to resort to what's that called? That ice and that other drug.
That drug.
That other drug that is prevalent over there. What do they call it? Tramadol. Yes. Something must keep a man happy.
But Barrister, you don't have any evidence.
Which evidence? Why is the North? Hold on. Why is tramadol prevalent in the North, Esther? Is that not a fact? They say nobody should sell alcohol and all. Tell me that none of them drink alcohol, Esther.
Barrister, you know that the Northerners had labor.
Hold on, I'm coming. There is a law against gay. Is that not true?
Oh my God.
Good.
This man.
But Esther, there is a particular hotel in Kano, that it is for gay. Every weekend they go there. I said it here when the person was there, and somebody validated it. They go there to pick young men for the weekend. It's going on up to tomorrow. They call them Dandawu. Yeah, Dandawu. Yeah, that's what they call them. Is that not happening in North? Tell me that was nothing like that.
I've never experienced.
Really, I'm telling you now, they have a name. They have a name. You went there to school, after the school, you ran back.
No, I didn't stay. I stayed for almost 2 years after school.
You ran back because one Abdullahi, or what was that man that wanted to remove his belt in that
Oh my God, that was during the crisis.
It happened.
Crisis.
It was happened.
But even after that, I stayed for 2 years after that.
But you left. You left. You left now. You left. So what are you saying? That man that wanted to go to that uncompleted house and remove
Barrister,
it.
Just continue your conversation. You don't have to overemphasize.
You were a small girl that time. You are very lucky. Very lucky. They would have turned you into Nyaninya. So what are you telling me that this law is helping the North? Don't somebody come and tell me how. Let them tell me how it's helping the North. This thing I said now about the gay, is it not happening up to tomorrow in the North? Let somebody go and prove me wrong. They don't drink alcohol. When they see you wearing trousers, this and that. If we have not gone to Muslim states in the world, Esther, I will say, okay, in Dubai that every Nigerian go to, Esther, I've had experience. They sell alcohol in hotels in Dubai.
No, Dubai is very lenient. Dubai is not.
So is it not a Muslim state?
Guys, please help me double tap to like. I beg. Thank you. So all those that have liked, now do well. Thank you very much. Now, they said bandits attacked mosque in Sokoto. They unalive an imam and one other, and then abducted the worshippers. In the comment section, somebody said that's an attempt to balance terror. Oh God. Ha! Omo. The North should go on their own, I beg. Please. There's no sugarcoating of it.
When Wike was council chairman, and today,
Sorry, guys.
Wike was council chairman, and today, you have turned yourself to an errand boy to Wike because you wanted money, because you wanted, I don't know what he wanted. He became errand boy. Wike is under 60. You are 65. You were governor when Wike was council chairman. Today, he has become your paymaster. I mean, it speaks volume about who Ayo Fayose is. I have no respect for him. Let me tell you a small story about Fayose. Number one, let me say, for me, I've never taken Fayose seriously because Fayose is one of the most characters I've ever seen in my life. Because when a man forgets the source, where any river that forgets the source will dry. And that is the case of Ayo Fayose. So the point I'm trying to make is that everybody that has helped Fayose, he has been ungrateful to them. And I'm just worried for his later times in life. Let me tell you another story. He said it by his own mouth. When nobody recognized him, when nobody has even given him any attention, it was Atiku that first gave him the first 15 million naira he used to embark on his campaign. He said it. As the later date he became the PDP governor's rancher, it was Atiku that made him PDP governor's chairman. So that same Atiku today, you go on national TV and disparage him, posterity will judge him. That's why I said, as far as I know, Fayose is an bunch. He's not somebody that's
a hard word.
He is an bunch. Let him challenge me, sir. You stayed in your party, you work against the candidate of your party for another candidate, or the candidate of another party. He worked against his own candidate. He worked against Professor Eleka. He worked against BCK. They should go and ask him what happened between him and his late sister being paid in London. They should go and ask him what he did to his mother when he chased his mother out of his house in Ekiti. Does that speak about somebody who is... Yet you come on national TV, you come and be disparaging Atiku, then you now went further. You went to meet Obasanjo. Obasanjo was not interested in coming to your birthday. You went to Obasanjo to your party. You were so desperate because you wanted a brace, you wanted a big person. Why did you go to President Tinubu that is supporting now, that is following now? You needed Obasanjo. You even went because you were so desperate, you even provided money for him to come, to get airplane to come. So then the man came. There was nothing wrong in everything Obasanjo said because they were facts. And Obasanjo never insulted you. Most of them are public knowledge already. But because of his arrogance, because of his irresponsibility, because of his tainted mind and brain, you came out and you are calling Obasanjo all sorts of names. The man that a retired general, a former president that is well revered all over the world. You, Fayose, who are you? In Yoruba land, we don't talk to our elders like that. It shows who he is. It shows who he is. When they say somebody, it captures everything, anything negative about that person.
Omo. So
this issue involving Mr. Harrison, I say I no go talk about him, but it's important because it happened to a human being. Anything can happen to any person. And when it comes to Nigeria, I want make we fit learn the lesson so that to help ourselves as a people and as a country. I pray say whatever be the incident, whether na mistake, whether na intentional, whatever it is, it will come out from a no kill person. But may it become a learning process to both the person and we as a people. My question to all of us as Nigerians be say, Nigerians, when will we learn our lessons? Because government no good, a lot of things no dey well for this country. In trying to solve a problem, we go continue to create other problems. And then when it happen, we go start to fight ourselves. Unfortunately, we fight ourselves when our common enemy, na government, we know they work. Nigerians, this issue of Harrison, it go still happen again if you no fix the root cause of your problem. Another person go come out, they go say, na him sabi do this, na him sabi do that. At the end of it, a lack of accountability and a system that should work will create even more problem. Nigerians, number one, nobody or no private individual should become government. Nobody is supposed to do what government should do. Private or individual citizens are supposed to complement and support what government they do, not to become government. Number two, Nigerians, no matter how you love people, no matter how you like what they do or whatever, do not take away the place of accountability and transparency. The same way you want to hold government accountable is the same way you must hold yourself and any other person accountable. Because if you put too much of power in one individual, it will become a problem problem to both them and the society. Not because maybe they are bad people, but because it can overwhelm people. And even the best of heroes also need supervision. It is important that as Nigerians, we ask ourselves whether we want to address the symptom of a problem or the root cause of a problem. There is reason why governments get three arms: executive, legislative, and judicial. Legislators will not go make law, but you cannot interpret it. Let judiciary interpret. Executive, you fit sign law, but no be you go make them. You fit spend money, but no be you go approve them. That system is what they call checks and balances. If the reason is simple, let no individual become too powerful that they cannot be able to control them. Because the best of man is man. And even a human being with genuine intention can make legitimate mistakes or can even become mischievous. It is important, say, as people, we always ask ourselves the question: if to say government they do what they're supposed to do, what exactly will be the need for private individuals to be doing the work of government instead of supporting government? They go say no, because problem there. Some people no go even like waiting at the top. They say, Peter, your own church about Nigeria government. So no, make this activist focus on this, make this one focus on this. As long as everybody must first of all come together to fix government first. If not, you dey whine yourself, you dey deceive yourself. Make money out of other people's misfortune, and at the end of it, you will put yourself in more problem. The first question when you go ask Nigerians, they say, what is the meaning of the what they call activist? When you say an activist is a person who identifies societal problem. You use your voice and your platform to call for reform of that system for the benefit of everybody. An activist is not necessarily a person who see problem and talk say, now you must solve them. If you want to solve them, you must also fight for the reform of the system so that even when you are not there, people can become or have access to protection and justice. If not, you have become God. When this whole issue of kidnapping and ransom, and I do not follow what I don't understand, because for me, you may disagree, you may not like me, but I want to understand something before I say, okay, this is it, no matter how good it may seem. Okay, you be middleman between kidnappers and people where they kidnap and all of that, based on what intelligence, what security background? Do you work with retired law enforcement agents? Do you work with the... Because it is important for us to build a system where there is transparency and accountability. Look at, for example, Israel and Gaza, they fight war. For them to release hostages where they with Hamas, Israel and Hamas no fit sit together face to face. They need middle person. They get mediators. They get International Red Cross. Where go collect this detainee from this person, hand over to this person. The International Red Cross is an organized system. There is accountability because even when person try to do bad, there is a structure around it to be able to ensure that the right thing is done and it is protected. If you want to be a humanitarian person, say, okay, you are between the kidnapper and the kidnapped victims. If you know, say, okay, that is your job, then there is a system of accountability. So that even when people come meet you, say, okay, now waiting, they want me to help you do with this. As you they collect, this is their ransom. You have your rate card. Bill anybody. It is your service. You need to earn a living. Make we not talk, say, oh, you are doing a humanitarian this, and then you begin to put yourself under undue pressure. Let there be clear remuneration for waiting you they do. Let it also be something that people have access to know exactly what is being done here. If not, in trying to solve a problem, you will end up creating even more problems. That is the Nigerian situation. See, I know say failure of government don't make a lot of Nigerians give up on government, say they no go fit do anything. But my people, there will be no substitute for government doing what they're supposed to do. Because if you want to see people who won't solve their problem, the first question we go ask is, why is kidnapping so rampant? Before we start to talk about paying ransom, doing this, why is the issue of insecurity so bad in the country? If all of us know they come together to talk about how to end that problem, we go end up with Messiah syndrome. We go come look for one person, we go get courage or say, okay, on him go fit solve this thing. And we will be putting them in harm's way and also putting ourselves in more problem. Because make we imagine saying that one activist now fit help to solve a particular problem. You be one human being. For example, people, you they attend to issue for Edo or for Delta. So if they carry people for Cross River or for Benue, waiting will happen to them. So anybody who does not have access to you, their own life don't spoil. They are now in trouble. If I come out, they tell you people say me as Peter, anybody will tell you say now me go fit do waiting government supposed to do is deceiving in yourselves, because at the end it is either people will begin to cash out from the problem of other people. Because if you fix that problem totally, you will put a lot of people out of business. Imagine in America, they say, okay, Hillary Clinton, she's a women's rights activist. And then when woman, they problem for America, unless you reach out to Hillary Clinton, you will not be able to get your right protected. No, the job of activists is to help build a system so that whether you are there or not, the people have access to justice and their rights are protected. That is how you become heroes. For the first time, make I talk, and because some people might say, oh, maybe because Peter, a lot of people do not know that I work for human rights. I get 9 to 5 where I do. Part of our mandate is visiting detention centers to audit, including prison, going to police station to release people where they go charge them for, they go say they make them bring bill to bring them out free of charge, to do this, to ensure that money where they collect or they take from them, you retrieve. It is something we do, helping people to get access to justice. But I won't come out and put it online. If I want to become one of the wealthiest or popular, it is simple. I know Nigerians, and me, I don't be content creator, I understand it. Carry phone, go one prison where we go to go do amnesty, we go where I follow people to go do, I video one case, I put them online, I open website, they go contribute money to me. At the end of it, it will be another problem. But God forbid I engage in that. For 2 reasons I know go do. Number 1, I don't want to make money from the misfortunes of other people. Number 2, it is misleading. I have capacity to work in only one state. Even the only one state where I cannot be everywhere at the same time. If I go one police station to go collect money for morning, 100,000, before you go back there for night, they don't collect more than 1 million from other people, because it is the criminal structure that must be dismantled. If I there for one state, what happens to the other 35 states and the FCT? We must open our minds to know that no matter how hard it seems to fix government, there is no substitute to fixing government. 2 years after justice for Mohbad, how far? Justice for China, 6 years. Because the systems and institutions that should give you justice are not working. No one person can protect your life. I cannot give you justice. We can only help ourselves work together to build a structure. When the systems are working, all of you feel conscious. Say, okay, Peter, me, I fight my own to say make electoral this thing they work. This one go say, okay, now me they do this one, make police reform, they go on. Women and children's rights. That is how societies are built, not by people becoming government. Nigerians, my own prayer between now and 2027, I don't commit, God helping me. God keeping me alive to see that if we can get good government, all these people where say they get good character, young people, send them to National Assembly, let them contest election, let elections be free and fair where they go fit contest, so that they begin institutional reforms. If I succeed, we thank God. If I not succeed, may God know that I did my best. Nigerians, wake up, mobilize. You can fix your system if you decide for it to work. Because if you put too much of power in the hand of individuals, you have changed them from citizens or heroes, they have become God. Even in that becoming God, it can become even a problem to themselves unknowingly. So they can even make genuine mistakes, even when their intentions from the beginning were good. Fix government and fix your system. It may be difficult, but it is not impossible. There is no substitute to government doing what they need to do. We citizens support and complement their efforts. May God bless Nigeria. I'm sending my regards and good wishes to everybody. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
I have one more video and then we'll call it a day. I no intend to stay here till Nigeria man. I'm gonna hear this man.
What do we the British, and when the British colonized the North in 1900, what do we the British do? We very cleverly rule with a few hundred district officers through the Muslim emirs. It was the best thing that ever happened to Islam in Nigeria. Because before then, if you were a Muslim, you went, say, to the Tiv area, what would happen? You'd be dead. Under the British, you could go as a Muslim trader, and you could live and you could spread your message of Islam. So the British enabled Islam to spread in Nigeria, and the British stopped the spread of Christianity, because Lugard kept missionaries out of the north. He only let missionaries go to the parts that were not under Muslim rule, like the Jos Plateau. So the Christian church in the Middle Belt thrived in areas that had never been conquered by the House of Fulani. Why are there huge areas of the northern Nigeria depopulated today? The answer is jihad. Because those who weren't enslaved by the House of Fulani or conquered by the House of Fulani, they either died by the sword or they fled to the hills, like the plateau, like the Goza Hills in Bornu. And in those hills, when I was there in the 1970s, there were no Muslims, none whatsoever. The people followed African traditional religion and were dwelling Christians. Because down on the plain, it was the Muslim Kanuri, and they're the ones that slaved. So what's going on today in the Middle Belt? It's nothing to do with herdsmen and farmers. It's nothing to do with Muslim herdsmen, nomadic Fulani, and settled Christian farmers. No, and it's certainly nothing to do with climate change driving out the Fulani. This is quite simply jihad. This is just an extension of Usman Dan Fodio's jihad by other means. But nobody in England dare call it jihad because they're all shit scared of being called Islamophobic. Well, I'm not. I don't hate any Muslim.
Una here, this is historical contests for those who deny and
Some
deny.
years ago, that Nigeria will become a failed state has actually come to pass. Some of the indices of a failed state are when non-state actors possess equal or stronger or more potent power than a legitimately constituted government, power of violence, instruments of coercion and violence, as we are saying now. And let us not always be saying Nigeria is indivisible, it is indissoluble. It's not a textbook definition. Indissolubility and indivisibility can only be brought about when you nurture unity, mutual respect, egalitarianism. It is already divided because every geopolitical zone is already going according to its own details. There is no cohesion. There is no leadership. Can't you see that Nigeria is hemorrhaging? Can't you see that we are bleeding? Can't you see that we are on a journey to no destination? Can't you see that the president should wake up his self-imposed cocoon and hibernation and seize the reins of power and save Nigeria from what remains of ourselves, self-implosion, self-immolation? Can't you see that we are tottering, we are wobbly, we are groggy? Can't you see that we are falling apart? Can't you see that we needed, as yesterday, to do something urgent to save Nigeria from the precipice, from breaking up into smithereens? Can't you see that the house is collapsing, that the edifice is collapsing? Can't everybody see it? Even if you are blind, can't you feel it? Even if you are blind and you can't feel it, are you numb?
Three have no patience for the shenanigans of the politicians. They have seen how these people were misbehaving in the name of election, and they got angry. That is the truth. Or I think that one of the contestants know that he has lost the election and he invited the military. These are two possibilities. When Jonathan came back and was telling us that it was a ceremonial coup, this and that, was not. Look, a coup happened there. For the army to topple a civilian government is a coup. So trying to paint it as what is ceremonial here? Ceremonial, and the electoral umpire told you that their office was under attack by the military. That all their offices was destroyed and all that. And you are saying it was what is ceremonial here? There is nothing ceremonial as long as the military have taken over. It's a coup. And so the military have no patience by their training for this thing politicians are doing. That is what I think happened here. If that election was going in the right direction, I don't think anybody will raise any finger now. I don't think, yes, I don't think so.
Now, Barrister, let's talk about sanctions with bites here, because if zero tolerance is real on the part of ECOWAS now, and of course, the questions are being raised, what automatic time-bound penalties, asset freezings, and of course, trade restrictions, and even travel ban was placed on these country within the 7 days space, and then why did mediation not really yield a major breakthrough?
It did, because the coup plotters, the military have given a 1 year window to return back to civilian administration. That was one of the gains of the discussion.
Some have said that if they enjoy power, they might not want to relinquish
power. No, let's get to the bridge before we now think of crossing it. Since they made that commitment, then let's give them the benefit of that. Then two, AU have lost its power to rein in the members. AU has no power to mediate in anything. If they do, Rwanda and the DRC will not be going to America to sign peace agreement, true or false? If they do, RSF and the Sudan will not be talking of, Donald Trump will not be talking of mediating.
Right.
So if they do, in fact, America will not be talking to Nigerian officials on what to do and what not to do to bring terrorism under control. So AU is not there. Literally, America is running Africa now. That's the meaning. Donald Trump is running Africa now. He's dictating to African leaders what to do to stop killing themselves. Is it not a big shame? AU, that China gave them a building. AU, China built their head office in Addis Ababa. Is that not a very big shame for a continent? This is not how to accept, what do I call it now? Favor. This is no longer favor. This is an insult.
When I listen to this man.
I was born back in 1978. I was only 10 years old when the first Palestinian Intifada started. My father was one of the founders of Hamas. And my family taught me that I was Palestinian. But they never said why I was Palestinian. Like today, millions of people believe to be Palestinians as an ethnic group, but in reality, they are not. And we have tens of millions around the world who say free Palestine, while in reality, Palestine never existed, except as a colonial entity against the indigenous of the land. I'm not saying that there were no Arabs in that region, but for some reason, Arabs were allowed to take their caravans from every destination in Arabia with no political borders to come and profit from the British mandate of Palestine. But the Jews who had to go through the Holocaust and the ethnic cleansing on the hands of Ottoman Empire for approximately 400 years, then the ethnic cleansing in Europe, then the Holocaust, they did not have the right to take the boat and escape the hell of Nazism to come and find a safe place where they could survive. This is a crime. It's colonialism. But for all the Arab and Muslim invaders who came to profit, who did not have any connection to the land, that was legitimate. So I was supposed to believe that I am a Palestinian. But what makes a Palestinian, nobody has the answer. What makes the Palestinian different than the Egyptian or the Jordanian? It's not a human race. It's not a distinct language. It's not a religion. It is nothing but a violent ideology that was established as a hostile movement to annihilate the Jewish people from that land. The continuous Islamic, and I insist to say Islamic, attempt to kill the Jewish people. And that brings us to the ideological dimension that many of us are in denial. Why? Because we have 2 billion Muslims around the world and we don't want to piss them off. So most of us stick our head in the sand in denial. While it's in the Quran, it's in the Hadith, that it's an Islamic belief based on the Islamic most trusted sources, that the end times will not come and the Mahdi, that's the savior of the Muslims, will not return until the Muslims annihilate all the Jewish people, not only in Israel, but worldwide. This is not only human delusion. They have been acting on it. It's a legislation. Many out there believe that Allah gave them the authority to punish the Jewish people. First, Allah chose the Jewish people. It was His chosen ones. But for disobedience, Allah wanted to punish the Jewish people. And now the Muslims functioning as the sword of Allah on earth to punish the Jewish people and all the non-Muslims who don't submit to Islam. This is the Islamic law. And all those who try to sell the West a peaceful version of Islam, they are liars and they are lying. And their claim is baseless. Okay, this is too controversial and I did not come here to say things about Islam, but this is very important to understand as a foundation of this conflict. Because if we really want to find a solution, then we need to understand the dimensions of the conflict. And the ideological dimension of this conflict is the most significant one, in my humble opinion. This is how I was conditioned. As a Muslim, then as a Palestinian, and I think both identities are false.
Oh, now, do you guys know that Nigeria deployed fighter jets to Cotonou to go and fight? May we listen to Barrister Darlington first, then we will play that video. We'll head over to YouTube.
Changes, Badaru living, citing health grants and all of that. And we see Christopher Musa, who was removed as chief of staff a fortnight ago, and now he's returned as Minister of Defense. Like you asked, what changed? But do you think that these changes, that have anything to do with pressure from the United States of America?
Oh, of course. In fact, it's even an embarrassment to Tinubu and his government that is now taking orders from the US, who to change, who to remove, who to bring in and all that. Yes, it's an embarrassment to him. And this was the man everybody was praising here, especially the Lagos Ibadan press, as the alpha and omega of politics, as the godfather of everything. He's very strong. He can do this. He can, they were even trying to equate him with God. Now look at him. Mr. Kro, look at it. Does he need the US to do what he's supposed to do as a president? If Tinubu have acted like a president, will these rascals be around Nigeria by now?
Is there anything wrong in collaboration?
This is not collaboration.
What is it?
This one has become a master-slave relationship. I'm not joking.
How so?
Because yes, America is not telling you what they want. And you are now implementing.
Okay, I think we've already listened to this video. Okay. Okay. All right, let's head over to YouTube. This is the last video for the day, and I'll call it, you guys enjoy the rest of your morning, but I need to play this video. See ya.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sunday, the 7th day of December 2025. There have been a lot of controversies, allegations, and sometimes evidence that the Nigerian federal government are linked to terrorism, like they are sponsoring terrorism against our own people. And most of the former chief of army staffs, former major generals, and most of politicians in Nigeria have agreed that it is happening. But that is not the story in this video. There was an attempted coup in the Republic of Benin Sunday morning, and the report coming from Vanguard, because I first see this news on Vanguard News, Vanguard reported that the Nigerian military has deployed fighter aircraft to the Benin Republic following reports of a military coup that allegedly toppled President Patrice Talon on Sunday. Security sources have confirmed. So on receiving this news from Vanguard News, so I try to confirm. I have a friend in the Nigerian Air Force, so I try to confirm, is it true that Nigeria sent out their fighter jet to Benin Republic because of a coup? He said yes, that there was an order, but at this moment that the order had been withdrawn. So the news you saw on Vanguard News is true, is confirmed, and the aircraft has been ordered to return back to Nigeria. Now, this is the purpose of doing this video. Let me explain it to you. You know that for over 2 weeks now, yes, about 2 weeks, there were school children that were kidnapped, not one, not two. They were able to rescue one school after negotiating with the terrorists. But that of Niger State is a St. Mary's school. It is a Catholic school in Niger State. So the children have not been rescued. The children are still with the jihadists who kidnapped them. And it was a surprising thing when we heard from the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, when Nuhu Ribadu told us that the children are doing absolutely well. We tried to process the statement. It took me up to 2 days processing a single statement from a National Security Advisor of a country saying that the kidnapped victims are doing very well. Because in establishing something from his statement, I was able to understand that he is in communication with the terrorists. And if he is in communication with the terrorists to know whether the children are doing well or not, what stops him not to take action, deploy efforts, attacking helicopter, go in there and rescue these children? What happened? Unexplained. And secondly, if he's in communication with these children, they know the location of the terrorists and so on and so forth, what stops them from communicating it out? So these are the issues we are facing in Nigeria. They never deploy the helicopter, they never deploy drones to monitor these people. Like, are you serious? These people now deploy fighter, aircraft to, what is it called? Republic of Benin? Because a coup that does not concern you. Now, for those of you that is always ranting their mouth when the United States of America said that Nigeria is not doing anything about the insecurity in Nigeria, killing Christians and other people, a lot of people were running their mouth. Why would the U.S. invade a sovereign territory? Shut up. When Nigeria, sent their fighter jets to, is it not Gambia? Yes. When the president refused to leave, they sent fighter jet to Gambia to threaten the man. So Nigeria did not, violate the sovereignty of that place, right? Maybe you say because they are all ECOWAS my foot. What are you talking about? So we have ECOWAS, people are being kidnapped, ECOWAS forces refuse to rescue them. You see, I am not trying to appraise a military coup or those things. My concept in this video is that if the Nigerian government could tell us that they are in communication with terrorists, that the people terrorists kidnap are doing fine. That was what NSA said, okay? That the people who they kidnap, that they are doing fine. Just imagine. So they fail to deploy fighter jets, fail to deploy spying helicopter, attacking helicopter or drones. Nothing has been done. They keep on pushing people. The teachers are crying. Everybody is crying about it. This is not a way to go. Honestly, this is not the way to go. So it is something that is actually troubling to me, seeing that Nigeria have the capacity to stop terrorism, but they didn't stop it because of collusion, because of an ulterior motive. Anyway, it is what it is. Nigeria is not sustainable.
Exactly. Exactly. Nigeria is not sustainable. You see, they are releasing private air jets to go and fight, to go and help them resist the military coup in Cotonou. But they don't get military air jets to take care of the insecurity for Nigeria. You see the double standards? Anyway, we'll see how this whole movie plays out. Guys, on that note, thank you all for joining me this wonderful morning. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks to those who liked, shared, subscribed. Welcome to the family. Please continue to subscribe on your way out. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.